Hello everybody, Caden here today with another episode of Minecraft Dinosaurs, and today we're back working on our Diplodocus exhibit. And I have done a bit of work, as you can kind of see on my mini-map. And I don't know which way I'm gonna go about this. You know what, let's just show you guys what I've done. Ta-da! This is the river. I've done a lot of work on the river, and I have to say I'm getting pretty happy. Now you might be like, Caden, what's that? That's not how a river works. It has to flow. It doesn't just start randomly. And I would be like, yes, dear viewer, that is correct. However, that's going to be a waterfall, so that should be good. I don't know if I want the waterfall to be higher or not. And actually, if we hop over there real quick. Also that's another thing. The water level has actually been raised by 1 block here, because you can see it's up 2 blocks there. Because someone suggested, you know what, you should make the water flow at various levels, so that way it looks less like a flat lake, or a really thin, long lake, and more like an actual flowing river. And I thought that was a really, really good idea. I'm sorry I don't remember the name of the person who commented that, but yeah, thanks for the suggestion. I really liked it. I haven't quite filled the section of the river up all the way yet, just because I need to finish more of the rock work, but up until that section there, it's completely dug out, and yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. I think in shaders, it just has this awesome like effect. You can't really tell how deep the river is, but you know it's a deep river. But yes, so my initial plan when I was working on this, especially with the waterfalls, was I was going to actually have the waterfall come and be back here, because as you can see, this is a much higher point than that is, meaning that I can make the waterfall a much taller structure. However, I kind of decided I thought it would be a lot cooler to do 2 waterfalls instead. So we're gonna have our main waterfall here, and then we are gonna have another one here that's going to probably be another 10-ish blocks up off the ground, which will flow into that waterfall, and I thought that was super cool. It did make me realize one thing though, and that is, well, the natural course of the river, which comes over this direction, is a lot lower. So I've been trying to figure out what I want to do with this. Like, where do we want our custom river to lead into this river? Because this river obviously is leading into areas where we want to build exhibits. And I've been thinking about that a lot. And then I remembered something. You know where else has a river? You know where else has a river, guys? The Brachiosaurus exhibit. And we have it going into this large hill here, right? And I realized something I can do very easily, in fact, incredibly easily, is, well, the waterfall we're gonna have here could have 2 waterfalls going off of it. So we have the main waterfall going down that way to the second waterfall, and then maybe extend it like this raised up section of the river as well, and then another waterfall going down that direction. And then have the waterfall we're using link up in some sort of custom terrain up to that original Brachiosaurus waterfall. So essentially, we're making this super complex and very beautiful, hopefully, river system that I've realized, and I realized this more after episode 1, no one is going to see. The vast majority of it is going to be hidden from human eyes, which I think on one hand is kind of sad because it means a lot of my work won't be visible, but on the other hand, it again feeds into my building philosophy of it's sometimes the best bits are the bits you don't see. And if you've seen how I build exhibits sometimes, that's very much how it is. Sometimes the best parts of the exhibits are the parts of the exhibit you never get to see, like the animal. And then when you do finally get to see it, it's so much better because it's not something you regularly notice. And yeah, I just really, really, really like that idea. So we're going with that. I can now jump in here without taking mass amounts of fall damage, which is awesome. But if we run over here, I was trying to think about what today's episode was going to be, and I did actually plan it out, don't worry guys, it's not just a free-for-all episode, but I realized today is probably going to be fence day, isn't it? So I guess, what is it, my plan for hopefully finishing this exhibit off is, what is it? Episode 1 of this was terrain, episode 2 was the river, episode 3 is going to be the fence, which is today's episode, and the next episode, hopefully will just be kind of like finishing touches, or maybe if not finishing touches, terrain work, a bit more terrain work, and then finishing touches hopefully, and that'll be that, and then we'll be done with the Diplodocus exhibit. Oh! We need to get back to the storage room real quick because I believe I have some biofossils that I see in here. Yes, because I went mining. We have some fossils here, so you know what? We're just gonna kind of... Where's my paleontology? Okay, I still have that on me. I didn't remember if I had taken it off me. Okay, so we didn't really get much. That's unfortunate. Also, my fossil collection is quite preposterously large. It's honestly kind of mind-blowing to me how many bones we have. So a lot of it, we'll see what goes into our museum collection. Granted, I did say I wanted to do like it's like what real museums have, because you know what you see on display is actually very little of what they actually own. Most of it's in, you know, drawers and shelves and stuff in a back storage room. And I want to build that when we build a museum. And the funny thing again about building that is that it's a thing you'll never see. Like, if you were a visitor, you'd never really see that. Even once we build it, and let's say we go through the museum, you know, we're never really going to notice it. I don't know, but I love that idea. I love the idea of having these little areas of the park that are just kind of like Easter eggs, I guess, somewhat. Just cool little things that we spent a lot of extra time just putting together to give the world a better coherency. And I think this is the longest intro bit I've done in a really long time. Well, at least since I've started doing this new style of content. Speaking of which, what do you guys think of the new style of content? Like this more edited down version of my videos. I'm actually really enjoying it a ton. I think it's great for two reasons. One is it makes Dino's episodes a lot easier to record overall because I have more time for them and I'm not just like running around my world for 20 minutes. And the other reason is I think it looks more professional in all honesty, that I cut out good deals of boring, non-essential stuff. Kind of like what I'm doing now. Anyway, so I am going to probably work on some fence designs and I will bring you guys back in once I've got a fence design down and ready to go. And yeah, so I will see you guys as soon as I get that fence design down. All right, guys, we're back. And I did a bit of work. So you can kind of see it over there. This episode's been interesting recording-wise for me because it's been like, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna do this before the episode starts, but I'm not gonna get too carried away. And then like, I kind of forget I'm supposed to be recording things, and then I just keep going because I get in like that work mode, you know? I think you guys will get what I mean. Like, you know, you just kind of get in that mode where you just kind of keep going. Not because like, you know, you're not supposed, like even if you wanted to stop going, usually it's like, you just kind of like zone out to everything else and you just kind of keep building because you're building something and it's going well, I guess. I don't know. Because I mean, that's kind of what happened with the river. Because when I was building it, I'm like, oh, you know, I'm just gonna dig it out and then we're gonna fill it up on camera, or I'm just gonna like do a tiny bit of work over there, and then you know I did everything already. Likewise with the fences, I was like, oh, I'm just gonna prototype some fence styles and then we'll come back, I'll show you guys it, and then I'm gonna decide on which one I like the most and go with it. Instead, what I did is I built one fence style, said, you know what, this is pretty good, and I'm gonna go with it. And here's the fence. I kind of knocked it back a bit farther than the original fence was, just to give a bit more space. I mean, I know this exhibit's already massive, and I'm wanting to make it larger, which is ludicrous. Don't get me wrong, I'm well aware of that. But I mean, also part of me is just kind of like, oh my gosh, Diplodocus is one of my favorite creatures of all time. I really do love Diplodocus. Well, I've always been a bit of I've always loved sauropods. Sauropods are my thing. Or one of my things, I guess, when it comes to dinosaurs. But, I mean, Diplodocus is a massive, massive animal, and I think it definitely has a different kind of feel to it than the Brachiosaurus does, because the Brachiosaurs are very vertically inclined dinosaurs. They're huge, don't get me wrong. I mean, granted, I feel like these Brachiosaurs are far more based off Giraffatitan than the actual Brachiosaurus, so I guess they'd be Brachiosaurus altithorax, which is Giraffatitan altithorax, I think. I might be wrong, I don't remember. Anyway, the African subspecies of Brachiosaurs. Anyway, since they're tall and not long, it's easy to make a smaller enclosure for them because they don't need as much space to fit the model necessarily. The Diplodocus isn't super tall, but holy crap, it's probably like 20 blocks long. I haven't actually built a fossil for it yet, so I don't know exactly how big it is, but they're big dinosaurs, which definitely presents a problem for me. in that their enclosure just inherently has to be bigger. It has to have a lot more open space than I would usually give them. So like, yeah, that's why this exhibit's just gonna end up being massive. Also, I should actually look at the fence. So looking at it at the diagonal section, it looks a bit weird. The supports I think look super duper weird, kind of like this. I didn't want to do a topper on them initially, but then I realized if I don't do that, we just kind of have these weird little poles floating right next to the fence, which is kind of annoying looking. Also, that top bit there, I'm not sure yet if that's actually going to be going on the entire fence or if that's just something I want to try and see if I like it or not. Also, I have no idea if I'll be able to finish the entire fence this episode. I've burned through this surprisingly ate a lot of resources. I was kind of surprised by that because I'm like, oh, you know, I had all those resources, except most of them went into the Triceratops exhibit. And what I've built here is maybe like a quarter of the fence, probably like a fifth of the fence I need to build. So I'm not sure I'll be able to finish it this episode just purely because I don't know if I have the resources to finish the fence. But anyway, I should talk about the fence design itself, and I guess kind of my school of thought when I was designing this, because I've kind of realized we got a couple different types of fence in the zoo. I was gonna go run and show you, but I just realized it now. So the Triceratops and the Stegosaurus and the Therizinosaurus all have a very similar style to this, except it's logs, a stone brick base, and wooden planks on top with either glass or iron bars. And I'm kind of calling that a medium herbivore fence in a way. That's our medium herbivore fence. This is our, I guess, high herbivore fence? What do we call that? Tough herbivore fences? What are they called in large? Our large herbivore fence, that's what it is, because it's not the fence itself, it's based off the dinosaur size. This is our large herbivore fence, and that's another reason why I'm thinking of adding this little top section on somewhere, because I kind of feel like that would reinforce a bit more. I was originally going to go with stone, since we have chisel now, some sort of stone block here, but the reason I decided against that is I do feel that the wood gives it a far more herbivore kind of thing. Like, this is definitely a higher security fence. It's a much larger fence meant to keep in much larger animals, so hence why we have the supports here. But I always like using stone more for carnivores like we do for the Dilophosaurus, because I feel like it gives a bit more of the sense of like, you know, like instead of just using more natural resources and stuff, like this is a thing that had to use like tons of concrete so we can contain it because it's a big dangerous animal. I mean, granted, a sauropod would also be a very big, dangerous animal, but dangerous for different reasons. But anyway, yeah, so that's kind of why I came up with this, and I also kind of realized, now, obviously there won't ever be a truly universal fence design when it comes to me, because that's just who I am. But I do like the idea of having a generalized light, medium, and high security fence for both herbivores and carnivores. Or a low, medium, and high security fence, I guess. Because, I mean, right here is basically a high security herbivore fence. We've already made a medium one, and we have several variations of low security herbivore fences. And we've made a, I guess, medium security carnivore fence. Granted, I feel like a carnivore fence wouldn't really have a low security version. You'd have a medium and a high security, and I guess a super high security, which I guess would then make low, medium, and high security. Whatever, anyway. So this is the fence design. Oh, and there was one thing I wanted to talk about, and I meant to talk about this in the first clip, but I completely forgot about that, and that is we got a brand new model reveal the other day for Fossils in Archaeology, which is the Gorgonops. Oh my gosh, it looks awesome. If you haven't seen it, go check out their Instagram or Twitter, I believe, which is where the model will be posted. It looks fantastic, and I have to say, it's one of the animals I'm very, 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 very excited to put into the park when we get it. Like, I literally cannot wait for it. It looks amazing, and I'm very excited. Anyway, I'm gonna go work on the fence until I run out of resources, or until I feel like I kind of just want to wait till I get more resources, and then we'll come back. I'll show you guys what I finished, and I guess we'll go check on the DNA, because I doubt it's done since I haven't loaded that area. So yeah, I'll see you guys in just a second. All right, guys, we're back, and so I made some more progress on the fence. Got about, we're almost halfway maybe with this fence. Oh my goodness. Well, actually, since I have to expand it past where the border goes, yeah, no, we're maybe about a little over 1/3 done with it. I ran out of iron bars about here, which you can see. I mean, I kind of built it weird, but yeah. So we ran out of iron bars and then started running out of stone bricks and logs. So I kind of just decided to call it quits. At that end, I completely misplaced my shovel and I don't know where it is. So I kind of need that if I want to come back around and continue working on this. So I've decided I'm just gonna call the fence building for here today, just kind of get the episode going up. But yeah, I mean, I'm pretty happy with this. This is good progress. We've got a good fence design going. I mean, this area is kind of difficult to work with because the hill has slightly higher slope than I realized, which is kind of making it a bit interesting with how it's working, but I kind of like it. I kind of like it. It's kind of funny to have like supports like right there where they have like the 3 tall one, but I think that looks cool. I think it's cool to have have stuff like that. So yeah, I guess I'm just gonna show where the plan is. Like currently, obviously it's going to there, but like I said last episode, that's not gonna be the final version of it. We're still, I don't know exactly where I'm gonna turn in and how it might relate to this river over here. But the plan is for the fence to come up and connect with this hill here. We're gonna take out part of this hill and fill in this little lake type thing. So we'll kind of see how it works. We'll see how everything kind of flows together, and yeah, that'll be that. I was about to do the outro there, but we got one last thing we really need to work on. Also, I have to say, I'm really happy with how this is all coming along. And I think it again makes sense with how much I've felt like, oh, it doesn't seem like we're getting anywhere. We are getting somewhere. It's just, this is just such a massive project. You don't really notice how far things come along until you start putting all the pieces together, and instead of looking at the individual little thing you've been working on, say, working on the slope of a hill, or working on a fence, or working on some rocks, but you like kind of step back and take it all in at once, you really start to see just how much progress has been made here. Like how crazy of an exhibit this is to build, and how cool it is that it's actually all kind of coming together. Because yeah, you can kind of see the fences back there, and soon they'll come all the way along here, and like this whole little valley will just be the Diplodocus exhibit, and I think that's gonna look amazing when it's finished. I really do. I think it's gonna look absolutely fantastic, because you're just gonna have this absolutely massive area just with several Diplodocus in it, and I think that's gonna look cool. And then coming back this direction and seeing the waterfalls, like that's also gonna be awesome. Oh man, I'm really happy with this. I can't tell you guys how excited I am to see what this exhibit's gonna be like when finished. What was it? There were a couple other suggestions I remember reading. One was to put the Gallimimus with the Diplodocus, and I mean that's a cool idea, but as usual, I'm just gonna stick with my mantra of I prefer to give each animal their own exhibit. Maybe we'll kind of do some other stuff in the future. We'll see with that. Well, with combining dinosaurs, we'll see. I will say though, some people suggested it, but despite me, okay, so I know I already don't like to put animals together, but there will not be any carnivore, herbivore type exhibits, even if we put a river between them, just because I don't like how it looks, and I don't feel like it's that realistic of an exhibit to make. But anyway, what was the other thing? Oh, someone suggested, I think this was last episode, a really interesting ravine exhibit idea, and I don't know what animal I could do it with, but I mean, a ravine, like an exhibit in a custom ravine we make, so it's like in a canyon, and probably the viewing is along the bottom of it, and I don't know, it just sounds super cool to me, and now that I'm thinking about it, the Gorgonops would totally be an animal I'd do that for. Totally, actually, yeah, no, I'd love to do that. I think that'd be really cool. Anyway, let's go check the DNA real quick, and let's see what we've gotten. I'm really hoping we get another Diplodocus. If we don't, it means I'll have to do a lot more digging, obviously, just to get all the biofossils we need, and I'm surprised that actually went finished. So 3, 2, 1, please. Okay, we got one more Diplodocus, that's awesome. And another Ornitholestes, that's also good. You can use good deals of both. Let's go check these up in the DNA storage bin. It's kind of funny to me. Excuse me, something got caught in my throat there. But it's kind of funny to me, just if we come in here real quick, And this is never a thing I've really had in a Dino's World before. Like, I mean, usually I'll have a bit of extra DNA. But in the past couple of parks, no new animals have ever really been added in. So, you know, I'll get maybe like 10 of each DNA and that'll be it. But because there's so many new animals being added in now, we're constantly having to analyze more and more and more. Oh, we have 3 Diplodocus? Oh, that's cool. When did I get a second one? I don't remember exactly. But, I mean, like, we've just got so much DNA in an attempt to get the new animals, and whoa. I've not seen that reflection before. That's really cool. I like that. I guess that's just insane glass. I wanted to check my egg supply real quick as well. Oh yeah, because my mega late, like all of these eggs, we could probably, you know what? We're gonna hatch something this episode real quick just because we have time. I'm gonna go check these in the Castornis exhibit and we can just teleport over to the bug house. Cause, what, it's episode 57? We haven't been over here since episode 50, so it might be nice to kind of head over. What's in here? Anything important? No, we do have a Dinopedia though. Oh, and my super axe, which I've been missing. There we go, that's useful. No, we haven't been over on this side of the park in a little bit, so I don't know, I think it'd be kind of nice. How did you get out? Oh, I bet you I know how he got out. That glitch we've been having where dinosaurs will get too close to like a wall or something and then they'll kind of like glitch through it. I bet you that's what's happened. I bet you he glitched out. That scares me actually, because that could mean the Meganeura could be out. So it's like, I guess it's a good thing we came over here. Let's just take a look. Those guys are all here still. These guys are here. Mark's obviously not here. And I still hear the drone of the Meganeura. So by the looks of it, they're mostly still here. Okay, that's good. I don't see or hear any flying around. Okay, that's good. Wow, that's weird. I wasn't expecting Mark to get out of his exhibit. I guess I'll have to get him back in. I mean, hey, that's the cool thing about running back over here. Plus, like I said, we spent, how many episodes? We spent like 6 or 7 episodes building the bug house, and then 2 episodes on the Platypelodon and the Castornis. So, I don't know, it feels always kind of weird whenever I just abandon a project for a little bit and then come back. Oh yeah, we have the whole mountain range thing project we're working on over here. That's awesome. I can't wait to get back to that. Can we see any of our Platypelodon from here? Are any of them down in this valley? This part of the exhibit? I know I need to get rid of the cows, guys. Don't worry, they'll be gone eventually. But I think I saw one over here. Yep, there's one. I'm not really gonna look at them. I just wanted to go check the Castornis eggs in because the Castornis are tiny and I think we could use a couple more. We have some chests over there. Yeah, I need to go through and definitely look through all these chests and kind of see what is it I have over here. I need to put the fences in for sure between the leaves to kind of finish off this area. But let's hop in here real quick. Hello. You guys are cool. So let's just check some new babies in. There we go. Yeah, oh yeah, we're returning to this area soon. I forgot about that. I don't know, I've been so obsessed with the Diplodocus, I forgot my plans were to come back here after we finish it. But yeah, I'm also really excited to just kind of work on this area a bit more and kind of get things rolling over in this side of the park again. Anyway, I think we're getting today's episode off here, so thank you all for watching, hope you're enjoying. Once again, if you have any ideas for the Diplodocus exhibit, feel free to leave those in the comments down below. And until next time, guys, see ya.